Good afternoon. Today is August 1st, 2026. I'm making a kind of a unusual video. The name of it is, I left my Weihrauch HW57 uncocked for 6 weeks. That's kind of embarrassing to admit that, but it happened. So I've got some facts to back it up, and so some factual information, and you may find part of it hard to believe, but I have no reason to go on the internet and tell a lie. So use it for what you can make out of it. But the long story short is, when I mention dates, they're kind of off the top of my head, but they're pretty close. About January 6th, I made a video about this HW57. They call it Amazing HW57. And I kind of did one thing in reverse order. At the very end of it, I made a video of it, me cocking the underlever to show newcomers what an underlever was and how it cocks. And the mistake I made is that was the end of the session, and I oiled up the rifle, put it away, and one thing led to another. I decided to put a new scope on it, and I have other rifles to tend to, and on February 16th I got my new scope, and I was going to put it on the rifle and zero it in, and I took it out of my carrying bag, and darn if I was going to cock it, and darn if it wasn't already cocked. My heart just sank. Not much is written or visible on the internet or YouTube about leaving a rifle cocked, except people say don't do it. Even some extremes, if you're out hunting, don't leave it cocked while you're out hunting. But like I say, mine was about 6 weeks, and I just thought I was at the end of the world. I didn't know what in the world I'd done. I went on the internet, and the only thing I could find a few things where people were fussing around and talking in general, but Tom Gaylord mentioned that it doesn't do much harm, and that's going to be the case here. So I took it out and fired some shots, and I've got a chronograph, a zero chronograph. It's pretty accurate, and the chronograph indicated it only lost a half of a foot-pound, and I did document it with some Excel spreadsheets, so that wasn't so bad. I could live with that. I didn't want to live with it, but I did. And time went by, and on into April, I was looking on the internet. I was on eBay, and I saw the TBT had a tuning kit for an HW50. So I bought it, and I put it in, and I made that video roughly April 16th, give or take a few days. And I'll take it apart right now. I just took the rifle apart a minute ago. This is the TBT spring and top hat and washer. This is the original spring that came out of the HW57. It's exactly, TBT says it's exactly the same as the factory, so that's this one. And the rest of the story is, excuse me, the rest of the story is, I also have an HW30, and it was not tuned, and I had had it a year or so, and I decided, since I had good luck with the TBT, I'd get a tuning kit from my HW30. So a week or so ago, I went on the internet, and I could not find one for sale, and I contacted TBT. They said he is not shipping tuning kits to the United States anymore on account of the Trump tariff. So I couldn't get a TBT kit for my HW30. So the next best thing is I went to Air Guns of Arizona, and I got the Vortec Pro Guide 4 for my HW30. This is HW50. And I put it in a week or so ago, and boy was I happy with that. It was so quiet. The secret, in my opinion, is this piston seal, and it's got red grease instead of the gray TBT grease, and it's just wonderfully quiet. So even the TBT was shot well. I gained back that half a pound that I lost, and I'm okay with that. But it was loud and cranky, even with the grease on the spring guide. So I decided to roll the dice and go with the Vortec kit for the HW50. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to turn the camera off and start on it, and I'll be back time and again. The Vortec kit comes this way. It's in this Delrin container, and it's already pre-greased. All I have to do is grease this part of the spring, and I'll put some grease on the, I believe you call that the top hat. I'm not sure what that's called, but it goes against the piston. So I'll be back in a minute. Good morning. It's the next day, August 2nd today. I got everything cleaned up and degreased yesterday, and I went back and looked at some of the video I took yesterday, and I know it's crude in places that you've figured out by now. I'm not a professional speaker or an air rifle mechanic or a videographer or a product reviewer. I'm just a recreational shooter, and I like for my rifle to shoot when I pull the trigger, and I like to be able to hit what I'm aiming for most of the time. If not, it's either with the shooter or the instrument. So glad you could come along. I finished cleaning up and degreasing everything yesterday, and this is a new piston seal. The Vortec piston seal has this, there's a name for it, I can't think of it, but like a collar that fits right here between the piston and the seal itself. It's also tapered exactly the same as the Weihrauch seal. But I think this is where the magic is. I watch videos by TBT, Tin Bum, and Spring Piston Rifle Fever, Pellets and Pistons, Aragandi, Mike Ellensworth, just to name a few. And they all put a different spin on the same thing. So I've developed my own spin, and I'll tell you what it is shortly. I use an artist brush, an old artist brush, for smearing the grease on instead of wearing gloves and using your hands, because I drop stuff and then you get it all, you pick it up off the floor and you have to start all over. This is more accurate to apply with a brush. For man-made material connected to metal, I use a synthetic, like a silicone grease, and even inside the piston there I use that. And from metal to metal I use moly grease. This is Tin Bums. You can also get it at auto supply store. And for the springs greasing I use, this is a TBT grease provided, and this is the Vortec grease provided. This is a little stickier. I like it better. This is the original spring that came out of the rifle. This is a TBT spring with a spacer, and it's slightly longer, and the Vortec seal is longer than both of them. So I'm hoping for a little more power, but you get what you get. I use the Super Lube when I install the piston seal, so it spins around fairly easily. This tin Bum moly is, I think, also has graphite in it, so it's kind of thick and pasty, so I think the Super Lube will do better. the best I could, I used a little file and I went around the inside edges of all the internals of the tube and try not to get any metal shards when I insert the piston. It's a pretty tight fit. When I come to an obstruction, I'm going to use a screwdriver to get past it. I'm going to turn the camera off because I can't do the work and run the camera at the same time. I've got the spring and the pistons installed in the chamber now, and I've got this plug. It's the last step. I'm going to install it now off camera. It's pretty, I think I can manhandle it, but in case I can't, I have a woodworker's vise it's a very fine spring vise, very reasonable in price. So I'll get it put back together one way or another. I'm not going to show it the rest of the installation because I'm not that skilled at anything, and TBT is so much better. So I'll see you in the next step. I got the rifle put together, and it fires well. The spring is a little more powerful than the TBT spring that was in there. It's more like the it's for HW50, so it's going to be a little more powerful than the HW57 spring. And it was more than I wanted to take on manually putting it back together, so I used my woodworking vise. It winds up right here, and you can really draw down on it to line things up when you want to finally assemble it. Check it out. It's just a woodworking vise, but you really need a vise. Start over. Here's a rifle put back together with the scope, ready for firing. I bought this set from Air Guns of Arizona. It's a little brass cup that goes in here and really adds a nice accent to the rifle. So I'll do that in a minute. Here's my first 5 shots. I was about 15 yards, not really trying to make a score, but that's quite a good group. They're averaging about a little over 11 foot-pounds, so I'll keep you posted on that. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This is just my way of doing things. I'm by no means an expert. It gives you the freedom to do what you want to do, but maybe you'll stick your neck out a little bit and have some fun. Here's a summation I was going to give you. I trust that you can read it. It's probably curvy around the edges. Just don't look at that part. But to sum up, on the 6th of January, before I screwed it up, the rifle put out 10.228 foot-pounds with a field target trophy and a 4.52 head size. And then when I discovered it on February 16th, the same pellet weight, the foot-pounds had dropped to 9.78. And that's a difference of exactly 50.50, half a foot-pound. When I put the TBT spring in on April 25th, the foot-pounds, same pellet, field target trophy, went back up to 10 1/4, down 0.03. I mean, just nothing. And it's still down, it still increased 0.47 from February 16th. And finally, on August the 2nd, the same field target trophy pellet with the new Vortex kit, I've got getting 11.45 foot-pounds, and that's 1 foot-pound greater than the original spring on January 6th, and 1.67 when I screwed it up, and 1.2 increase over the TBT spring. Hope I didn't make it like drinking out of a fire hose, but it might be useful to somebody. I also, just for your information, I took some more shots, and this is the first 20 or 30 shots out of the rifle with the new seal. It's still got a long way before it's even broken in, but the field target trophies next day came in at 11.4 foot-pounds. I was sighting in here, and that's about 4 shots in one hole at 25 yards. The Barracuda Hunter Extreme came in at 11.5 foot-pounds, and that's 4 shots in one hole, and that's where I jerked the trigger. I can't blame it on the flyer. The RWS Superdome pellet, almost the same story. The point of impact is different. There are 4 shots in one hole at 25 yards, 11.5 foot-pounds, and that's where I jerked the trigger. The last set of shots could be interesting to some people. I shot at the H&M Terminator, and excuse me. I shot the H&M Terminator, and I got 4 shots horizontally. I don't know how that happened. Maybe a screw's coming loose, and 1 jerk shot. But that's all. These 4 shot groups are good. But the interesting thing is the H&M Terminator weighs 7.3 grains, and it came in at 862 feet per second, and that converts to 12.06 foot-pounds. So if you're in Great Britain, that might be a problem to you. I think I'm in the USA. I've heard Nick at TBT say that the way they figure it, it's what the rifle is capable of putting out, not what you are using it for your own use. So that could be a red flag to somebody. This ends the video. Hope it was helpful to somebody and maybe entertaining to someone else. See you on the next one.